This one has been a long time coming. Towards the end of 2016, I made a video announcing my plans for the channel the next year. I believe that video is private now. Don't worry, it was garbage anyway. I announced one of my plans in that video was to make an Optimus Prime out of Combiner Wars Hotspot. And that's mainly because I like the fire truck Optimus Primes, being RID and Cybertron. And I guess animated too. There's actually an interesting story in the process of why it took so long. When I initially began the project, I had a Combiner Wars Hotspot, and I just got some Tamiya spray paint, and I sanded down the parts of one of the arms and just sprayed them without any primer. And the result was naturally garbage. But I was gonna try and salvage my mistakes. And I ended up trying to remove the paint with some paint thinner that we had in our garage. And I tried soaking the parts in the paint thinner to make it more effective, and it didn't work. If you've ever soaked anything in... Actually, never soak any plastic things in paint thinner, or anything for that matter. It's not a pretty sight. But anyways, that hotspot was completely ruined, and I've still got the rest of it sitting in pieces in my room. So then I got this second one, and then it took me a while to decide whether I was really going to do it or not, and when I was going to do it. At one point I was considering having it done as a commission to a guy I found on DeviantArt. But I finally decided that, yes, I was going to do it myself, and I finally got to it. And this time I actually used primer. And now we have what you see here. I wouldn't say that's the best it could have been, but it still turned out really nice. Especially for being, my 5th custom? Yeah, but anyway, as with Downshift, it's not entirely done yet. I do still need some insignias, and I'm considering adding some lettering for some city in Japan, because this is heavily based on RID. The inspiration for this came largely from RID Optimus Prime, which was a Japanese fire truck. But yeah, all it really is... But as you can see, it's still another straight repaint. Hotspot in red. Yeah, I left the crane... The crane. Yeah, I left the ladder assembly unchanged completely. But I did paint the weapons, and I added this sword from Beast Hunter's Voyager Prime, which I am going to eventually repaint into someone else, but that someone else will not require this sword. But I think it goes nicely with Prime. I had leftover light blue from Downshift and the Gundam custom I made for our Grand Prix in the Texas Gundam Club. And overall, I think it turned out really well for being my 5th custom. One of my only complaints with this mold is that it's severely undersized when compared to most deluxes. But like with many Transformers with larger alternate modes, I guess that's just inevitable. But that's all there really is to the alternate mode, so let's get him transformed. Man, this looks nice. So yeah, even in robot mode, it is essentially unchanged from Hotspot. I do normally leave the guns on the back. Yeah, mounted on the ladder assembly, just to evoke the smokestack look of a traditional Optimus Prime. But yeah, as we saw in the alternate mode, color layout is a bit different from most Optimus Primes. But yeah, I tried to use blue where it would look the nicest, and it didn't. I decided it just wouldn't work on the legs, because all of this just folds into the alternate mode. There's so much of the ultimate mode that is visible and integrated into the figure. The only real kibble, I mean, technically most of the alternate mode bits are kibble. Like this stuff is technically kibble. But the only real kibble is the ladder assembly. And that's just because it's got all of the defensor bits. The head is probably what gave me the most trouble, because not only did I fail to airbrush the blue or the silver, the eyes were just a pain. The eyes were just a pain to get right. For what it's worth, it looks really nice right here, but it was a long road getting to this point. Taking a look at the arms, you'll notice that for the most part they lack the sheen of the rest of the blue, and that's because those are the only parts that have any airbrushed blue on them. The rest is just painted on because I didn't bother to mask anything other than what wasn't going to be red. Well, other than what wasn't going to be spray painted red, and that's one of the things I regret doing on this figure. Not airbrushing the rest, as much of the blue as I could, because when you get right up close to it, there are some things that look really messy. Like you saw in the head segments that I just did. Naturally, this figure retains all of Hotspot's articulation, with one minor but notable difference. The Hotspot mold is infamous for the stoop that's created when in combined mode. I actually don't know about any other versions of the mold. For now, I'll just assume that they fixed it on Onslaught, and maybe the Victorion Mega Empress or Megatronia gift sets. But on Shapeways, there is a set of replacement hip ratchets that you can buy, and they're supposed to fix the stoop in combined mode. I went ahead and bought those because I want to have this Optimus as a combiner. I don't have a team for him yet, but I do intend to create a combiner team with this Prime. In order to do that, though, I'm definitely going to have to change the combiner head that's being used, because otherwise it'll just end up looking like Defensor. And now, thanks to Power of the Primes, I am an even happier man. I think this is going to do it for this video. I got plenty more customs planned for this year. The one I intend on finishing next is Nightbeat, and on that one I intend to airbrush as much of it as possible. But anyway, I'm Keeper of Toast, and I'm hungry.
Transformers, defenders of truth, robots who fight in disguise. Transformers.